Now, streaming live, this is KSLA News Now.
Well, thank you so much for streaming KSLA 12 News Now. I'm Jeff Horchak. Just hours ago, the Shreveport Fire Department discussed new information about the arrest connected to a fatal house fire that claimed the lives of 2 young girls. Now, the fire department confirmed that family members are being held responsible for this deadly fire, and the arrest come months after an investigation into the cause of the blaze. Authorities say that a man and the grandmother of the sisters, 8-year-old Aliyah Robinson and 5-year-old Danielle Spearman, were arrested and charged in their deaths. Now, we also learned 2 more arrest warrants have been issued for Sharika Spearman and Bobby Grant, the aunt and the uncle of the 2 young girls. Shreveport Fire Chief Clarence Reese talked about what it took to get to this point in the investigation.
I want to be very clear. This arrest is a result of a long, careful, and evidence-driven investigation. Our investigators followed the facts wherever they led, remained committed to the truth, and worked tirelessly to ensure the case was built the right way.
Now, you may remember a teen was accused of setting the blaze and charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. However, in November, a Caddo grand jury wasn't satisfied with the evidence against him and declined to indict him. Now, the fire department says the investigation into this fire continues, and they plan to release more information later. In your first alert across Louisiana, the Department of Homeland Security says that it arrested 560 people as part of the Catahoula Crunch sweep in southeast Louisiana, and the government claims that it's targeting the worst of the worst. However, people on the ground say that's not true. In an attempt to verify the government's claim, our New Orleans sister station has repeatedly asked Department of Homeland Security, ICE, and Border Patrol for a list of arrestees, but so far they haven't made it public. Submitted a records request to ICE in December for the records, which would show the arrestee's name and arrest information. But ICE denied his request, citing a privacy regulation. Now, ICE told him he would need to get permission from all the arrestees to get that information, and that would be hundreds of people. ICE has not yet released their names.
This one, they're exercising what they call the Privacy Act and basically pretending like you were not asking for ICE records, you're asking for records particular to that person. So they're making you do an impossible thing, which is get the permission of all the people that they've arrested without knowing who those people are.
Now, Homeland Security released the names and photos of more than 30 arrestees, but that's just a fraction of the total. There's also an online search portal, but researchers would need to know the arrestee's name, and only one can be searched at a time. Well, first alert just into the KSLA newsroom from Caddo schools. 5 schools will move to virtual instruction for Wednesday due to ongoing water system issues. You can jot these down. The schools going virtual tomorrow are Blanchard Elementary, Donnie Bickman Middle, Herndon Magnet, Moriansport Elementary, and Northwood High School. The schools will go virtual as a precaution due to concerns regarding health and sanitary conditions. Well, in your first alert from Washington, the House has signed a package to fully reopen the government, but it sets up what's expected to be a series of tough discussions on immigration reform. The measure only includes funding for immigration enforcement and the rest of the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks. Now, Democrats wanted the package set up that way so they could negotiate immigration reforms in light of the fatal shooting of a man in Minneapolis last month. But the 2 parties are struggling to come up with a series of changes that they'd agree to. Republican Senator John Cornyn from Texas said that some of the reforms the Democrats are asking for are not going to happen.
I think, some of the things like body cameras are already being implemented by Department of Homeland Security. To me, that's makes good sense. But some of these restrictions that they want to place on ICE officials, who again are professional law enforcement officers enforcing federal law, I think are not going to be possible.
Now, the new deadline for lawmakers to strike a deal on Department of Homeland Security funding is now February 13th.
Yeah, we got some cooler temperatures on the way for the next couple of days, but then a major warm up as we head closer to the weekend. I'll talk about it next.
KSLA First Alert Weather.
Let's take a look at those forecast headlines going forward. It is going to turn a little bit cooler tonight as a cold front has come through the area, and that's going to result in some cooler temperatures for the next couple of days. We're talking highs in the 50s here for Wednesday, and then lows will be back in the 30s. So it is going to get kind of chilly, at least for a day or two before we really start to warm up. And we got a major warming trend on the way. We have an extended stretch of highs in the 70s, and that starts on Friday and lasts pretty much all of next week. So we're going to be seeing some very warm conditions here, and also that drought is probably going to get even worse because we don't have a lot of rain in the forecast for the next 7 days. Here's a look at the current numbers. It is still very mild outside this evening. We're still sitting near 60 in Shreveport currently, 61 Mansfield, near 60 down in Natchitoches, Carthage around 60. But here comes the cooler air behind that front. Notice DeQueen back down to 46, and it is going to get a lot colder later on tonight while you're sleeping. Here's a look at the next several hours, and again, between about now and midnight, it's going to stay relatively warm out there. But as we get past that, temperatures will continue to fall into the 40s by about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll end up probably around 40 degrees in most spots tomorrow, but a few areas, especially north of I-20 and definitely north of I-30, will be in the 30s for tonight. Hope 35, DeQueen 32, and Idabel all the way down to 34 degrees. So that is that colder air starting to move in behind the front, and you're really going to notice that as we head into the day tomorrow. We're going to see a lot of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, but that gusty northwest wind at about 15 to 20, and you can see that wind there out of the northwest. That's going to bring in some cooler air. So despite the sunshine, we're talking highs tomorrow only in the mid-50s, which is about 10 degrees cooler than we have in the last couple of days. So it is definitely going to feel a little bit chilly outside. 56 in Shreveport and Bossier, 56 in Natchitoches and Texarkana, 53 DeQueen and Idabel, only looking at a high of about 52. And then by tomorrow night, those temperatures will likely get close to freezing. But looking beyond that time, we got a huge warming trend on the way as that big area of high pressure builds, and we're talking highs well above average. 70s are likely as we head through the weekend, and you're going to like that 7-day forecast. Here it is, 56 for tomorrow. 34 though tomorrow night. It is going to get cold tomorrow night. 61 on Thursday, 76 on Friday. That's going to be such a nice day. 72 Saturday, 78. We could be upper 70s, maybe even flirting with 80 on Sunday and Monday, which is just like, I can't even believe that because we just had that huge winter storm about, what, 10 days ago now at this point?
Yeah, it's just amazing how the weather has just been
Crazy.
all over the place.
Absolutely crazy.
We were freezing a few weeks ago, and now we're going to be 80s. I mean, it's just.
I mean, I don't think we'll quite get there, but it's going to be close. I mean, it's going to be like shorts weather for sure.
You have to have all your apparel ready because it just shifts like crazy.
Back and forth.
All right, thank you, Matt. All right, join us right here for our next newscast at 10 o'clock tonight. Until then, you can stay connected with us right here on our KSLA News 12 app. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 10.